far reaches of the universe is the star planet Symbion, a perfect world until their biological experiments exploded, creating an exotic realm beyond all belief. As mutant life forms ravaged their global paradise, a new and incredible species emerged, the Sectaurs.
Welcome back to the Titanium Hangar. This is Mike, and I'm coming at you with another video. This time I'm talking to you about one of the biggest playsets made in the 80s, and that is the Sectaurs Hyve. If you're anything like me, you're probably thinking, well, I know a little bit about Sectaurs. I know that they were around, but I don't know a lot about Sectaurs. And you're probably a lot like me. But one thing about this toy line is it is made by Coleco. Same company that made Rambo figures, and they made a big playset for Rambo and an even bigger playset for this. This playset is packed full of features, and it surprises me that they did so much. So I'm continuing on this trek to review as many playsets as possible from the 80s. Let me know which playsets you like. Let's get right into this big review. So first of all, I want to talk about scale. Obviously, we see that this is made by Coleco. Coleco made the Rambo figures, and as you can see right here, they're about the same size, the same build, the same structure. A whole lot of similarities are shared between these figures. It's almost mind-blowing that Coleco chose to go with a larger scale figure when the 3.75 inch was just dominating back in the 80s, but they still chose to go a different route, and to go a different route you had to go much bigger with the playsets. So how big is this thing? This thing is on about a 3.5 times scale of the original Castle Grayskull. This is so much bigger than the Castle Grayskull. Just trying to put this into a size comparison. I think everybody knows what a Castle Grayskull is, and to just say it's like 3 times the size, maybe 3.5 times the size, it's impressive. And a lot of people would kind of argue, yeah, it's technically only twice the size. I feel like it's almost 4 times the size. So starting at the bottom, we're just going to talk about the fact that this thing is basically similar to the Castle Grayskull because they were fighting over the good guys and the bad guys and who would actually take control of the Hive, and whoever took the control of the Hive would have the power, kind of like Castle Grayskull. So similar concept, maybe they just copied that. But anyway, looking at all of this, you got to have a bunch of figures to make it look good. I don't think a play set really looks good bare, so filling it up with figures is the best way to make it look good. And on the flip side, I think a play set is the best way to display your characters.
Prepare to destroy Dargon!
So looking at it from bottom to the top, this thing actually is a massive beast full of detail. They did a really great job. Coleco did an excellent job with the detailing and the artwork of this thing. It is a beautiful playset, and it has a nice shine to it. It has a lot of different paint variations. It's not just green, but it has a little bit of darkness to it, some black wash to it, or some texture to it. It looks amazing the way they did it. I was actually very surprised, and I really thought it was going to be extremely flimsy. It's actually pretty solid. It's not the most solid. I would think that it's kind of on par with the Castle Grayskull. So next up, we want to look into some features here, and part of this features are going to include these hand puppets. So let's look and kind of see, where do they start with these hand puppets. So the toy line really consists of each one of these characters having some sort of a bug with them. And when you look at it, the big ones have a hand puppet. Yeah, my wrist takes all of the illusion away. But with that, they kind of carried that into the playset. So the first of these puppets to receive the treatment is the Vipex. Vipex is a little rubber finger puppet, which can kind of come in and out of this hole here and maybe attack someone, you know, once you show your fingers, kind of the end of the illusion there. But that is kind of cool. It is kind of fun, and if you're not using it, you can just kind of let it lay there. It surprisingly, you can move the playset around and it just stays intact. In fact, that's a really good way to make this thing. But if you lose it, it's really expensive to buy another one. The second puppet here is is Gnar. And this one is a little bit more challenging to control because you gotta have your whole hand in it. But it is kind of fun, and it can sort of swoop down and grab a character and do a whole lot. So you could do quite a bit with this thing. And again, you could just tuck it in there and it just kind of rests. It does have some paint on the eyes. It looks pretty good. It's a pretty cool looking one. It's fuzzy. You know, I always worry about these hand puppets getting kind of dirty. Somehow this one seems pretty clean and it's held up over the years, but it is kind of a challenge. I always wonder, how do kids keep these things clean?
I've arranged a party for him. Good work. We'll take him with us. Follow me to the hive, and you'll never see Pencil alive again. Did you take care of Gargon's beast? You'll get it when you finish the job for me.
The next feature I want to show off is the ladder, and it comes with actually 3 ladders that can kind of collapse together or combine together in sort of this manner, and then you just clip them into place and you have yourself an extendable ladder. If you're really wanting to get challenging, put it on the very top. But this ladder and this mechanism, it only goes up so high. As you can see here, you can only go so high with this one ladder, so there is an option here. I truly feel this should come with 5 ladder accessories so you can build it going all the way to the top. Now, you can find these on eBay. They're actually pretty cheap. It's the cheapest accessory to go along with this playset. If you want to just build it up, you could do that. You could have this really tall ladder, or you could build several small ladders. That's something that you could do. And it is kind of fun that they make this thing to where you could set it up. It comes with 3. You could actually have 3 separate ladders or build one really tall one. And I like how they put the playability and the semi-modular bit to the ladder. So getting up here further towards the top, we have a couple of other features. We do have this wrecking ball here, and basically you can swivel this around. You can see some wrecking going on. And since it's adjustable, you could simply kind of unwind it here and then pull it tighter and make it whatever size you want. And then I'm guessing you just wrap it back around. That's kind of how I've seen people do it. And then you have a wrecking ball. So the adjustable wrecking ball means anywhere someone's coming in, you could just kind of knock them off the ladder or whatever. And that's one more feature. The next feature on here is the trap door. You basically pull a lever and you drop this guy, but I have trouble making them fall through properly. Maybe I've got something set up wrong, but it's still a cool idea, but it doesn't work for me. Next up we have the anti-Excalibur gun, and it's highly posable. It moves around quite a bit, but it's really kind of doesn't work for them so well. If you want to shoot downward, I guess it works really well, but you cannot shoot upward. Considering you're shooting at flying objects, you kind of want to shoot upward a little bit, right? So here we are looking at the inside of the Sectaurs Hyve Playset, and a lot of people feel like it's kind of not the greatest playset. But here's one thing I want to say. They did use cardboard. They did use a very high quality print on the cardboard. It does add some illusion to it. It adds some perspective. It does make it look a lot more interesting. And I'm not a huge fan of cardboard in playsets. But when it comes to this, it kind of makes me wonder, what if Castle Grayskull or some of these other playsets that use these formed type of plastic use a cardboard background like this to make it enhance the world? I know Grayskull did a bit with a little bit of stickers and all the stuff that they did in there, but this takes it to a whole new level. First off, here at the lower level, what you get to see in here is this looks like sort of a workstation, sort of like the bridge in a way of the Star Trek Enterprise. But you have TV screens, you have monitors, you have, you can see outside. You can see a whole lot of stuff going on in here. I'm wondering kind of like, what is all this in here? Is this kind of like some lava bubbling and stuff? This is kind of where everything went to chaos in their whole world and switched everyone to mutants and stuff, I guess. But it's cool, it looks good, it's got some sort of interesting background, it's not extremely boring, and it's a complete 180 from what you see in the front. So I kind of like that they did it. Sadly though, cardboard doesn't hold up over time. Now this one did, but the vast majority of these are probably looking really bad this day and age. So I do want to point out that this is where your finger puppet is, and that's where the big hand puppet is. And so it's kind of fun. Kids could put on a puppet show if they want to, is sort of. I mean, puppet shows were pretty popular back in the 80s. And so this whole concept seemed to be pretty interesting. I didn't even know they had puppets in this toy line when I was a kid. Moving up to the second level, you have a few things going on. You got some railing that just attaches to cardboard, which is just an accident waiting to happen, by the way. But it's supposed to have 3 railings, only have 2. And then if you look at this, this is what we were showing, that they could kind of break in using this. And it's kind of the whole scene here is the top level, the bad guys are breaking in. And then the good guys are down below, just kind of monitoring things, I guess you could say. But with this, you have more interesting stuff to look at. It really looks like you've got a high ceiling on it. It's just the detailing on it, it looks good. It looks fun. There's a lot of playability, a lot of display options, especially if you just fill this thing up with figures. It looks good, and I think you could make a great display either way, interior or exterior. It works for me both ways. This is sort of a side angle of this whole set, and it is pretty darn thin. But you know what? It's already a pain to ship. Imagine if they made this thing twice the thickness. All this can be broken down and shipped rather easily, but it is still a huge box. It's kind of shocking when it arrives.
This gas pellet is Dargon's only chance. There must be some strange, unexplained power in this valley. How do you know where Spydrax is?
So what do I think of this playset? I think it is awesome. I think it is outstanding that we saw big playsets like this back in the 80s. We don't see playsets like this unless they're crowdfunded. I think the only playset that might rival this is the Snake Mountain that they're making right now with the Matty Collector. So if you're in on that, I'd love to see how that scales to this thing. But looking at the future of playsets, I don't think they're going to go this big unless they're crowdfunded ever again. We won't see these on toy store shelves, and we sure won't see them for the $40 to $50 price point that we saw this thing back in the 80s. Let me know what you think about this. Let me know what other playsets are awesome that you'd like to see me review. Like, subscribe, and Tadir Hanger out.